to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty. Do roll call. Maureen Bory.
Here.
Mark Bouchard.
Here.
Artie Bryson is absent. Excused. He's at our MTA conference. Christy Hiltonen.
Here.
Chris O'Regan.
I'm here.
Cindy Valentine here. This time I'll make a motion for Trustee Chris O'Regan to chair the meeting.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
I will accept and do the best to my ability. Thank you all.
Thank you, Chris.
First order of business is to pay some bills. So I will entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the bills payable in the amount of $244,393.
Support.
Good. We have motion and support, and it looks like we've got basically everything that hit this month. The fire truck payment, the water purchases, so it was kind of a big one. Roll call vote, please.
Mark Bouchard.
Yes.
Christy Hiltonen.
Yes.
Chris O'Regan.
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Maureen Bory.
Yes.
The motion passes. Next, we have the Supervisors Report. Now, in our supervisor's absence, I've been asked to read some of the items that he's working on, so I'll just kind of blaze through them real quick. Together as a team, we've been working on the township budgets. We've had some good discussion, good deliberation, some good adjustments, and we have another budget meeting coming up in
27th?
the 27th of this month. Artie says he's at the Michigan Township Association MTA conference this week. That's up in Travers City. He's working on finalizing the agreements for the Municipal Utility Authority. Have met and are meeting with the unions to start negotiations for the labor contracts. He states that so far all the talks have been going good. Had a preliminary meeting with Ira for renewing the police contract. I know that Chief Coach Artie and some of the powers that be of Ira are working on that together. Working on the onboarding of the Spark grant process. Artie will be traveling to Naples, New York to visit an algae wastewater plant that could be a solution for our Sans Souci area. We're looking to see how they funded it, the processes, the costs of operation, etc. So we're trying to find a good working solution to get that downtown area back up and running and back to its prior glory. Working on blight issues with the code enforcer. The Pearl Beach bathroom and parking lot has gone out for bids. Also, the pickleball courts in our park are out for bids. Bid opening is May 8th. May 8th, so I would assume that's the deadline for receipt as well, right?
Correct.
Spring cleanup is scheduled for May 20th and May 20th on the mainland, May 20th and 21st on Harsens Island. So if you're cleaning out your garage, clean up your yard, we take hazardous material, old paints, stains, tires, trash, debris. It's a great time to clean up around your yard. Lastly, we're working on the music in the park and the park Clay Days and other fun stuff. Clay Days is going to be May 13th with a powwow, our vendors, the Miss America boat, and others that are coming along with the storyboards for this year.
I would like to add that the bids for the Pearl Beach bathroom and parking lots and the pickleball courts are published on our website. They can be obtained through PCE here in town and they will be published in The Voice next Wednesday, a week from this Wednesday.
Thank you. Board, any other comments?
Just one for the chief on the hazardous material dump. Is that still in effect? Do you still have that?
Yes, we take that. The only thing we don't take is latex paint.
No latex paint,
No latex.
because you can use kitty litter or sand, and once that dries up, right, we can put that out to the curb. Great. Thank you for the reminder. Anybody else? Okay, that'll conclude the supervisor's report, and you're welcome. Next, we have public comments. So we'd like to, at this time, open the floor up for public comments.
Hi, I'm Roland Brack, Harsens Island, 202 Williams. A lot of it's complaints, but I don't know if it's comments, but there's the ordinance bill on the dogs. I was just wondering, it got changed. It used to be, I thought you could have only 2 dogs. I don't know when it got changed. My older report says something about like 2 dogs and then up less than 6 or something like that if you have babies or whatever. Well, it got changed. There's new papers up there, and I'm just wondering if the board voted on this change, or if anybody knew that the papers got changed up there in the front, or if it ever got voted on, or it just all of a sudden changed to, I guess you can have as many dogs as you want now. I don't know. I didn't know if they voted on it or not, and that's what I was wondering. And then they're supposed to have, I heard, a new ferry going across. Maybe they talked about it, the planning commission or something like that, about taking over and running. I don't know if this is just suggestions or what, going from and to take over Dave's or beside Dave's ferry. This is supposed to be an ice cutter ferry, and it's supposed to be $3 to $5 for residents to be able to use it on Harsens Island. That was at the Planning Commission. I don't know how that's going to work because, and then I don't think Dave's going to let him use his docks, and I don't know what's going on with the docks. There's 2 being built. I think he has, but I think they're being built on his property where the old restaurant was, or the boat, the old, if you want to go back, the old roast, it was, I don't know, it was a beef roast place before the boat anyway. It goes way back, that chunk of property. But I guess he bought it, but he's building new bridges. I don't know if that's, or new docks. I don't know if, the tax money's going to these new docks putting in, and they're on this property or on the road property. I don't quite understand that, or the bridge,
Not that I want to cut you off, because I
Okay.
don't, but I also want you to understand, it's Harsens Island Transportation Authority on the island,
I
the
think
HIDA board.
Maybe that's
They're the
what it
ones that are
was.
doing some feasibility studies. So
Okay.
I would check and attend one of their meetings.
Okay.
From a township perspective, we haven't had anything to do with a bridge or a ferry.
Or the bridge.
To this point.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Those meetings are after the HIFSA meetings on the second Saturday of the month on the Lions Hall.
Okay.
At like 10:30.
I've been to one, and that's why I knew. but
That's
I
where you
didn't-
get your information that
That's
you need.
where I got the idea about the ferry, and I
That's-
just don't see it working or whatever. Because 2 people's going to be cutting a path, and then you ain't
If you
going
show
to
up to
have a
those
path.
meetings.
And right.
You'll get more info.
Okay, just a comment about the ferry was down one time or whatever, and the gal that was riding the ferry, she didn't want to drive because it was jammed up on the mainland over here. So we happened to be coming home at 12:30 at night from my mother-in-law's for dinner, and we got to the ferry, it's jammed up. They said it ain't gonna open until 7, so we went to Marine City and tried to get a motel. They were under new business, and then the new motel that they just built wanted $159 to stay there, and it would have been 7 hours or 6 hours. And I said, I ain't paying that. So we came back to the ferry, and I said, well, we'll go over to the police station. I got my water mug, and we'll fill up the water mug, and you can go to the bathroom to my wife. Well, dispatch said, we don't have no bathrooms or no public restrooms. Well, I said, we're a resident. Well, there happened to be one officer, and I didn't see him. He was standing in the back, and he's an older officer. He's from Roseville. But that dispatch guy was going to kick us out of there, and I was very, we're under stress anyway, and I understand they don't have no bathroom, but it was an emergency situation, and the fella came out from the back. He's, oh, Roland, I know you. Oh yeah, and he filled up our water, and he took Cindy back and let her, because I can go in the weeds, but my wife, I was pretty upset. I might have got a ticket, but that was just maybe like future, ferry jammed up, emergency, maybe something can be done.
Absolutely.
I don't know. It
Hey,
just
Roland, what time of day was that?
12:30 at night.
Oh, I was gonna say the park restroom was probably locked up by then, so.
Yeah.
They
I
usually
don't-
have a porta potty at the ferry.
Yeah.
use.
All right, but I understand that too, but
No, but in all honesty, we discussed opening this for a warming center or a cooling center. When that ferry is shut down, maybe we should be opening this so somebody does
Awesome.
have someplace to
yeah,
go. So I'll
something
definitely
like
bring that
It
up.
just,
The Lions
I
Club
was
could
embarrassed. My wife,
probably
she's,
suffice for that, too.
Sure, if you have notice. I mean, we know right away, right? Because they let our dispatch know, so at least someone would have someplace to come for 7 hours while they're waiting.
I
and-
pay $5,000 a year in taxes, and my wife couldn't use the bathroom. It was sad. But I'm sorry, and I'm sorry I bring bad news.
Well, that's okay.
That's okay, Mr. Breck.
It was
Thank you.
very
Thank
enlightening.
you for
I
your
I
time.
appreciate your comments.
Yep.
We'll see what we can do about that.
Thank you.
Are there any other public comments? Once, going twice. Okay, public comment section is over. Let's move on to the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda consisting of the minutes of the board meeting April 3rd, the workshop on April 12th, and the approved checks from the last meeting.
Support. Well, we have motion and support. We will open this up for any discussion on the consent agenda. Hearing none. All in favor of approving the consent agenda signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion passes. Next, we have the illustrious fire chief's report. Chief Rose?
Good evening. Fire Chief's report for March of 2023. During the month of March, I attended one meeting, and that was St. Clair Fire Chiefs Association. General business was discussed. I also would like to thank the Harsens Island Garden Club for allowing us to come in and speak at their luncheon. We covered safety in the home, fire safety in the home, or fire prevention in the home, and our new AEDs, and also CPR. We are still having some issues with the back order for the injectors for Firebolt 1. I did find a company in Wisconsin. I'm going to send the ones we have in the motors that we have now. I'm going to send them to them, and they're going to go through them and make sure that they're all flowing the right amount of volume, and so we can get that boat back on service and back on the water. I also would like to thank the following agencies for the assist at the Old Club fire on March 8th. Ira Township Fire Department, Algonac Fire Department, Marine City Fire Department, St. Clair Fire Department, Richmond Fire Department, Chesterfield Fire Department, Tri-EMS, also Homeland Security, and that would have been Emergency Management. And also a special thanks to the Clay Township Dispatch and the Clay Township Police Department, and also the Clay Township Fire Department for a job well done.
Sounds like all the services, except for fire, except for the water department.
Yes.
Lance, where were you?
Good drinking water, though.
Yeah.
It's good to have mutual aid and friends, isn't it, Chief?
Yes, it is.
We invited everybody.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
And the
They did a great job.
Meisner Road building, First Point,
Yeah, that.
you assisted in that?
Yes, we assisted on that.
Good job. Thank
We
you.
have the South Water Automatic Mutual Aid, and that's Clay, Algonac, Ira, and Marine City. So if we have any major fires or anything on the water, that is activated, and we all respond.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any questions for Chief before we let him go?
I'm good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Rose. Okay, moving on to new business. So the first order of business is to appoint a township trustee. So if I could just take a minute or two, and just give you an update, we did accept Joanne Shirkey's letter of resignation. She has entered into a full-time retirement position. But I think would be remiss without thanking Joanne for all of her decades of township service and activism. Her list of accomplishments are long and illustrious. And to be short, it includes Joanne was a firefighter. She was an excavator. She was a heavy equipment operator. She drove a dump truck. She worked for the post office as a delivery person. She was one of her highlights, and she'll tell you, she was a state championship girls high school basketball coach. Won a state title. She worked for many years right here on this board as a Clay Township trustee, and was certainly a solid rudder and guidance, and a great historian for us. She worked for the Clay Township Zoning Board of Appeals. She also worked for the Clay Township Planning Commission, among many, many other things. So I just wanted to briefly cover some of her highlights. She was a very giving person, and I speak for myself and probably the rest of our board members that we'll certainly miss Joanne at our table. With that being said, we have a job to do. It is incumbent on us to appoint a township trustee to fill the seat that Ms. Shirkey has vacated. Cindy was gracious enough to remind us of our township trustee positions, operations, fiduciary duties, and she gave us a whole list of boxes that people either qualified or maybe fell short or overqualified for different positions, including, the government operations, interpersonal skills, the leadership abilities, policymaking skills, township issues, and how vast and how versed people are, specifically the candidates that we have that may or may not fit the criteria we're looking for. So it was it was given to us as a responsibility as a trustee to go through a matter of 5, we'll call them letters of interest and/or applicants. So I would just like to briefly cover the 5 and just give you a personal thank you for sharing interest in your community. Mark Vershave, thank you very much. Bonnie McIntyre, who currently serves on the ZBA, thank you very much for your connection. Sue Marlowe, thank you very much for your resume. Jon DeBoyer, thank you for your application, letter of interest. And last but not least, Christopher Daggy, who currently serves on the Planning Commission. Thank you very much. So, if you know anything about these community members, you'll know that they're very good citizens for us, and we're lucky to have 5 highly skilled applicants to choose from. I think the time has come for our board meeting that we have to appoint one of these 5. It's something that's difficult, certainly easier than getting rid of one, but when you have 5 qualified people that all want to contribute to the township, unfortunately you have to say no to 4 of them. So with that being said, I will entertain a motion.
Make a motion to open appointing a township trustee discussion.
Support.
Good, we have motion and support. Let the floor open. So this wasn't easy, right? I mean, it just wasn't easy. When you have qualified people, it's a good process, but you certainly want to make the right choice to the best of your ability. I will say that, given the information at hand, we're about to appoint somebody as interim, right? So the interim will serve as roughly 18-month position, at which time the rest of us, including the interim and including the other 4 candidates, will be encouraged to run some kind of a campaign and get yourself on the ballot. To do so, you're going to have to work in effort with our clerk and the county. There is some paperwork that needs to be filled out in order for you to get onto our ballot. So expressing interest in that, we would appreciate and certainly support, but make sure that you don't miss your opportunity to engage in the process, which will start roughly, is it April of 25?
4.
April 24? Thank you. Additional comments?
Well, I mean, I wanted to talk about the island because Joanne was an island resident. And I feel that there's 7 on the board here. 2 were island residents, myself and Joanne. And I think the island wants representation. So I'm leaning toward, everyone has so many great qualifications and leadership skills and serves on other boards and has experience like Jon. But I think there are only 2 of the island residents are Mark and Suzanne, right? Mark Vershave and Sue Marlowe. Right, those are the 2 island residents. So the people voted for someone on the island to represent Harsens. So I have a strong leaning that way.
Right, I understand what your concern is as far as maintaining a presence here at the board for the township or for the island, and we do have that with you. But I'm looking at the resumes of the other 2 people, or 3 people. 2 of them stand out with me, and that's Christopher Daggy and Jon DeBoyer. Chris has an extensive work experience. Among other things, he's been around this area for quite a number of years and has a good resume. Jon, on the other hand, has worked for the township for 30 years, I believe, and which is retired in the Department of Water and Sewer, and done an outstanding job there, I might say. We do have new projects coming in to this community with new sewer lines going in, so I feel that it'd be a great asset with that development, which is going to take probably a couple of years to complete anyways.
Well, I know Sue's been in the community for over 30 years, if that's very involved, so, I mean, if you're looking at length in the community and involvement, she's got that, and she's got a lot of leadership skills. So, I mean, one person out of 7 from the island doesn't really represent the island.
Well, I hear what you're saying, Maureen. This isn't a full term. We're not appointing somebody for a full term.
Right.
If they're interested, they have to rerun for election. Artie does also have property on the island. I don't see that the island's not represented. We consistently look out for the island. I do agree with Mark Bouchard. We have a ton of infrastructure projects coming up that I believe Jon DeBoyer would be a huge asset for. There isn't a box on this list that he doesn't check. I'm amazed that he actually put in a letter of interest to be on our board, and highly thankful for it.
After
So
retiring.
I would make the motion to nominate Jon DeBoyer as a replacement for Joanne Shirkey on our board.
Support.
We have motion and support. Discussion.
I feel like, John, the time that we are in the year, budget time, the projects that we have going on, I think out of everyone's resume, John is the most qualified for stepping in midterm and being able to jump right into the things that we have going on right now.
So the three things that stick out in my mind that you're referring to, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but we're talking about the sewer interceptor projects, right? We're talking about the replacement of our water main. We're also talking about the connection of our water main to Ira Township, so we can have flow back and forth, right? Are those the three?
We have a secondary line to Harsens Island.
Secondary line to Harsens Island,
Yeah, we have the sewer authority.
the sewer authority.
And the potential of a new sewer system going in on Harsens Island. Working on that as well.
Yeah.
So there's 5 or 6 major infrastructure projects that will cost the township, well, the bids will be, in the millions. Luckily, we've gotten some support for that from both the federal and the state level, but that's not what we're here to discuss.
When will these projects start? Because, I mean, maybe 1 or 2 might start within the 18 months, but they're certainly not all going to start that quickly.
Well, all of them are in the works of being engineered. John's expertise would be in the input before we actually start the projects to make sure that we have everything in line for what we need for them, especially when we're talking $1 million projects. So his expertise would come in handy right off the bat.
Okay.
We're already working on them.
Additional discussion? Remember, we have motion and support
We do.
on the floor right now. We don't want to cut anybody short. Anything else, Christie?
No.
Mark?
I'd just like to say that all the applicants were very well qualified. So I didn't want to downplay that a couple of people stood out, but they all stood out, basically. So,
It makes it a difficult decision.
yes, definitely. Yeah. But we got to do what's right for the township as far as getting work done. So.
I don't, personally, I don't feel that there's a bad decision to be made here. I don't. The qualifications are very high. But I do agree that you know, we have to make a decision that's best for the township. So with that being said, let's take a vote.
Christy Hiltonen,
Yes.
Chris O'Regan,
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Maureen Bory,
No.
Mark
Sorry,
Bouchard.
John.
Yes.
Okay, that's 4-1. Mr. DeBoyer,
Mr. DeBoyer's here.
you've been appointed
Do you
to our trustee.
stand at the podium?
Does he accept the job?
Are you going to accept our nomination?
I do accept.
Would you do me a favor and raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of this state, and you will faithfully perform the duties of the office of Clay Township Trustee in and for the Township of Clay, County of St. Clair, State of Michigan, according to the best of your ability, so help you God?
I do.
Please take a seat at the end of the table.
Jump right into the fire, huh?
Yeah, Mr. DeBoyer, do you have an agenda, sir?
I've got an extra one here.
I
Okay.
do.
Oh. Welcome, John.
I'm worried. Thank you.
We are on new business 1B. So the next order is to set the public hearing for soil removal permits. We'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to set the public hearing for soil removal permits for May 15th, 2023.
Support.
We have motion and support. And so far, we have, what, 2 applicants for the soil removal?
Yes.
Silent Acre Farms and OSHA LLC, right?
Yep, they have to go through Planning Commission to be eligible for that permit, so they're just renewing, but we still need to hold a public hearing for them every year.
Great.
We received a letter from a concerned,
Yes. Yep.
should we read that?
I think that would be more appropriate for the public hearing when we do that. It will be a part of the board packet.
And that is the issue that we had with, back in the day, or 2 years ago, I believe, about the,
Before it was sold?
With the previous owner?
yeah. So, okay.
Yep.
Correct. So we have motion and support, and we're going to entertain any more discussion on setting the soil removal permit hearing. Hearing none. All in favor of setting the public hearing soil removal permit for May 15th, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Next, we have our MERS bond payment, principal, and interest. I will entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the MERS bond payment, principal, and interest of $295,612.50.
Support. We will open this up for discussion. Is there any discussion? The amount, the topic?
Pretty cut and dry, I believe.
Yep, that's our,
Cindy, this is just the reoccurring payment?
It is.
Quarterly or monthly, or what is that?
nope, this is semi-annual. May is principal and interest, and October is just interest-only payment,
I think it's, our payment last year was in December.
December.
Yeah.
Oh, it was the
It's like
refunding
June or
bonds,
December,
used to be
yeah.
October, yeah. So twice a year we make payments. Once is interest and principal, and once is interest only. This is the schedule for it, which is lengthy. This is all the MERS bonding that we did to make our MERS fully funded for all of our retirees.
You probably don't have the agenda with the hot links yet, do you?
I'm sharing
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I'm sharing Maureen's.
Okay. Any more discussion about the MERS bond payment, principal, and interest? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Chris O'Regan.
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Jon DeBoyer.
Yes.
Maureen Bory.
Yes.
Mark Bouchard.
Yes.
Christy Hiltonen.
Yes.
Motion passes. Next, under 1D, we have a resolution 2023-08. It's the conveyance of Bottomlands. So I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2023-08, conveyance of Bottomlands.
I support.
Okay, we have motion and support. Discussion? So I was a little unclear on the topic myself, so I did a little bit of poking around, talking to some very knowledgeable people. This is at the old club and really involves a couple of the boathouses that the old club had filed for permits. And because the boathouses are over water, that requires a permit from Eagle. So when Eagle comes out, they sort of survey the area, whether it's some satellite or whatever. They found that the boathouses actually extend past their property line out above the waterway a little bit, right? So Eagle needs a resolution from the township board before they'll issue a permit to the old club. Did I get that right?
They're the ones that will decide whether they actually get Bottomland, but this is just a formality in their application process.
Okay.
Letting them know that where they're planning to do is in an area that we approve of.
It does not impede any boat traffic? I mean,
No,
Okay,
it's
I see that.
very small. They've been there. I don't know.
Pre-existing buildings.
They're just
They're updating them.
revamping and
Subject is the
updating
update.
them. Right.
So it shouldn't really concern us, other than they need this approval from us on this resolution. Any more discussion? Okay, can we get a roll call, please?
Cindy Valentine, yes. Jon DeBoyer?
Yes.
Maureen Bory?
Yes.
Mark Bouchard?
yes.
Christy Hiltonen?
Yes.
Chris O'Regan?
Yes, motion passes. Thank you. Next, we have Resolution 2023-09. It's about an investment policy. I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve Resolution 2023-09, the update of the Clay Township investment policy.
Support. So we have motion and support. Open it up for discussion.
So the ones highlighted in red are the changes, and would you mind reading that change, Interim Supervisor Regan?
So the red
The
is
resolution,
on the other sheet or on the resolution
on the
itself?
resolution itself.
Okay, yeah, let me get back there.
On page 204, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want me to read it?
Sure.
Please.
So in Section C, Conflicts of Interest and Ethics, number 1, the Township Board authorizes the treasurer to invest in accordance with Public Act 20 of the Public Acts of 1943 as amended. The surplus funds of Clay Township may be invested in any eligible investment of Michigan Public Act 20, including bonds, securities, and other obligations of the United States or an agency or instrumentality of the United States. Number 2, certificates of deposit, savings accounts, deposits accounts, or depository receipts of a financial institution, but only if the financial institution complies with subsection 2, 5, or 6 of Michigan Public Act 20 as amended. Then page 3, under safety. Safety of principal is the foremost objective of the investment program. Investments shall be undertaken in a manner that seeks to ensure the preservation of capital in the overall portfolio after consideration of creditworthiness of the specific security. Concentration of credit risk will be minimized by limiting the exposure of a single security issuer per Appendix B. So Appendix B is basically describes each instrument that the township is lawfully permitted to invest in, and it sets parameters for overall dollar amount of investable funds and maximum length of time that those funds can be invested. And then also adding a section, the treasurer shall actively participate in the annual independent review process by an external auditor. This review will provide internal control by assuring compliance with all applicable statutes, ordinances, policies, and procedures. So basically, this came out of a meeting that I had with a financial advisor, and they take a look at your investment policy, and they basically want to make sure that it's in very good shape and meets a checklist of qualifications so that the investment policy can be certified by the Association of Public Treasurers of the United States and Canada. So these changes tonight are to conform with that certification requirement.
So it's a win-win situation for us.
Yes, it's just making it more stringent in following Public Act 20.
And you do a great job with all that, Christie.
Thank you.
so I'm all for it.
No more Bitcoin.
Yeah, never.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. There was no Bitcoin being invested by the township.
No.
So we have a motion, we have support, and we are, could we roll call this, or can we all in favor of this one?
No, we have to roll call. It's a resolution.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So any more discussion? Hearing none. Roll call vote, please.
Jon DeBoyer,
Yes.
Maureen Bory,
Yes,
Mark Bouchard,
Yes,
Christy Hiltonen,
Yes.
Chris O'Regan,
Yes,
Cindy Valentine, yes.
the motion passes. Thank you, Christy.
Thank you.
1F, from our fire department, Chief is looking to elevate the interim sergeant Bo DeVroy to position of interim sergeant. So as of 4/17/23, I'd like to place Bo DeVroy as an interim sergeant until the new officers have been selected. Bo is trained to the Michigan Firefighter 2 level and is a Michigan State Certified EMT. Bo has been with our department since 3/16/2020, has been in the fire service since 2019. Bo regularly works at least 48 hours a week. By promoting him, this will allow us to cut back on the 24-hour shifts, and I've been working to ensure the officer is on duty at all times. Respectfully, Chief George Rose.
I'll make a motion to elevate into interim sergeant Bo DeVroy.
Support. Discussion.
is he currently working right now?
Yes, he is. He's on the island right now.
I thought so.
Good.
I'm good.
All in favor of elevating interim sergeant Bo DeVroy, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Next, bear with me. Next, we have 1G, to retain Christine Anderson regarding case Eversole and H2 Lake Investments, LLC versus Clay Township Zoning Board of Appeals. Will entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion to retain Christine Anderson as the attorney representing Clay Township.
Support.
We have motion and support by
DeBoyer.
DeBoyer. I'd like to open this up for discussion. Anybody have any questions about hiring Christine to represent us?
She's been involved with it, so she's very familiar, right?
Agreed.
So
Yes, I think she's the right choice.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Okay, let's roll call this. I'm sorry, we ready for a vote? Any more discussion?
Good.
Sorry, we're good. Roll call?
Maureen Bory,
Yes,
Mark Bouchard,
Yes,
Christy Hiltonen,
Yes.
Chris O'Regan,
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Jon DeBoyer.
Yes.
Motion passes. Okay, we are to our board member comments. We're going to start to my left with our clerk, Cindy Valentine.
Congratulations to Bo DeVroy on our fire department. I hope the promotion is all he was expecting it to be. And congratulations to you, Jon DeBoyer, and thanks for having an interest in being on the team.
Thank you.
That's all I got.
Great. Christy?
The Treasury Department is in the process of sending out second letters for delinquent personal property. So if you receive a letter for delinquent personal property and you have any questions or you need to make a payment arrangement, please give the office a call.
Mr. Bouchard?
Planning Commission meeting, I am the board rep, and that is on, did I say Wednesday the 24th?
26th. Wednesday, the 26th.
22nd. We do not have an agenda yet, but that will be posted on the website as soon as that's available. Better, I don't think we have an open meeting at that point in time, but anticipate everybody showing up at the Planning Commission meeting for fun and games.
Serving refreshments, sir?
Thank you.
Trustee Bory?
Well, I'd want to congratulate Bo and John as well. And didn't mean to vote no, but I am adamant about getting that island representation. We have another budget workshop on the 27th. If anybody has any concerns on anything at all, please let the board know so we can address it during the budget workshop. And that's about it.
When's your next HIDA meeting?
The next HIDA meeting will be the second Saturday of the month, so it'll be in May.
Second Saturday in May?
Second Saturday, I'm not sure I think it's May 13th.
Okay.
And it's at 10:30 at the Harsens Island Lions Club. And so when we have the first meeting,
So that's
in
May
May, I'll
13th.
remind, May 13th. Yep, 10:30.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
Trustee DeBoyer?
I'd just like to thank the board for the appointment, and I'd like to send my best wishes to Joanne Shirkey.
Sure.
Very good.
Yeah, likewise. I'm glad we took care of township business today. I would like to thank the other four applicants. Susan Marlowe, thank you. Christopher Daggy, thank you. Bonnie McIntyre, thank you. And Mark Vershave. Is it Vershave?
Vershave, yeah.
Vershave?
Isn't it Bonnie McInerney? Is it?
Is it McInerney?
Yes.
Yes, McInerney, yes.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. And thank you for the letters of interest. Again, this, we encourage you to get with our clerk and get your paperwork in order. If you have continued interest, you can run for the township board like the rest of us have to do.
Not only that, but we may have potential openings on the ZBA, potential openings on the Planning Commission. And other entities.
Agreed.
Yes, the clerk's office is always taking applications, whether it be for employment or any positions on the board. We do keep those on file, so if it's something you're interested in, please feel free to send me a letter of interest.
There's a ZBA meeting on Wednesday. 7 o'clock.
Okay. Thank you, Joanne Shirkey, for your years and years of service. You'll be sorely
Absolutely.
missed.
Absolutely.
We'll entertain one more motion.
Adjournment.
Motion to adjourn, yeah.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting's adjourned. Thank you for coming.
Quick one.